On this day in 1933, Celtic's Peter Scarff died at the age of just 24 from tuberculosis. Peter Scarff's hugely promising Celtic career was all too brief, and his early death a tragedy for all who knew him. Signed as a 19-year-old in 1928, he was immediately farmed out to Maryhill Hibernian and was recalled in the new year before making his debut in a Scottish Cup tie against Arthurlie on the 19th of January 1929. The match was all about the return of Jimmy McGrory from injury, and he marked the occasion with a hat-trick, the other goals being scored by Jimmy McStay and Paddy Connolly. The young inside left impressed in his first appearance. The Glasgow Observer reported, "The new boy, Scarff, brought by Celtic from Maryhill Hibernian, is a gem of the first water. From the first kick, his moves were those of a master. There was mind and meaning behind every manoeuvre, and the way he made the game for his mates was just a joy to behold. You often hear the phrase, peach of a pass. Verily, Scarff's passes are the juiciest peaches." By the end of the season, Peter Scarff had established himself as a first-team regular, with 8 goals in 22 games and some stylish displays, including a hat-trick in a 4-1 win over Raith Rovers on the 9th of March that prompted comparisons with the great Jimmy McMenemy. The late 1920s, early 30s was a difficult time for Celtic, with fans frustrated by the club's seeming unwillingness to compete with a dominant Rangers, who ran large playing squads, while Celtic operated a small core group of players. They finished 11 points behind Rangers in 4th place in 1929-30, but the following season was one of Celtic's best in the period. The Glasgow Cup was won with a 2-1 victory over Rangers on the 11th of October 1930, and crowd trouble broke out after Peter Scarff had a goal mysteriously disallowed. Celtic played for the last half hour with only 10 men after Bertie Thompson was sent off for tripping Rangers fullback Buchanan, who had been spoken to by the referee twice already for bad fouls on Thompson. In the first half, Celtic had twice had to play for spells with 10 men when Charlie Napier had to leave the field, the first time unconscious, after bad fouls by Gray and Meiklejohn. Celtic's letter of complaint over the refereeing fell on deaf ears. Peter Scarff was proving the perfect foil for Jimmy McGrory, and he was rewarded with his first, and sadly his only, Scotland cap, playing in a 1-0 win over Northern Ireland in Belfast. Celtic were neck and neck with Rangers for the league championship, but a late loss of form in their last 3 matches saw them lose out by just 2 points. But Scarff won his only major honour when they defeated Motherwell 4-2 in the Scottish Cup final after a replay. The club made its first tour of North America that summer, and after one game in Brooklyn, a jersey was stolen by a souvenir hunter, and in the next match, Peter Scarff, filling in at centre forward in place of the injured McGrory, scored 5 goals wearing a pale green dress shirt against Carsteel of Montreal. At the beginning of season 1931-32, Celtic seemed to be on the up, but their world was to come crashing down around them in the most traumatic circumstances. Peter Scarff was in his usual inside left berth at Ibrox on the day of John Thompson's tragic accident on the 5th of September 1931. Then on the 24th of October, he had to leave the field early in a match against Ayr United because of breathing difficulties. He played against Motherwell the following week on the day Joe Kennaway made his debut, but was unable to play against Partick Thistle on the 14th of November and Airdrieonians on the 12th of December through illness. Peter Scarff played his last match for Celtic against Leith Athletic on the 19th of December 1931 and afterwards coughed up blood. Following Celtic's 1-0 defeat at Tannadice the following week, the Dundee Courier's Don John wrote on the 28th of December, "A notable absentee from the Celtic front line was Scarff. I hear that he is not in the best of health, and shall not be surprised if his name does not appear so frequently in the Celtic selection as one would like to see, for he is a very clever forward." Peter Scarff had been sent to a sanatorium in Bridge of Weir after being diagnosed with tuberculosis, and his football career was over at the age of just 22. The development of antibiotics was still over a decade away, and there was no cure for tuberculosis. His retirement from football was not officially announced until July 1933, and he passed away on the 9th of December that year at just 24 years old. The Dundee Courier wrote on the 11th of December 1933, "Celtic and Scottish football have lost a great player in Peter Scarff, who died on Saturday after a long illness. For over a year, Peter, despite the aid of some of the best medical men in the country, fought a losing fight, and he was just 25. Had he lived, and health and strength been his, he would have gained many of the game's honours."